And it's good news with Dick Baumbach. I'm Jeff Heiser here with Mr. Baumbach, who has several good stories for us of good news. How are you, Mr. Baumbach?
I am fine, and I'm just hoping that we can keep giving people good news because we really need it.
Yes, we do. We really do. There's so many things that are so negative and so down. There's such downers in our world right now. You know, it's always refreshing to hear some good news. And your first story is a very refreshing story. It's about a company who creates a win-win situation by repairing good clothing that is destined for landfills. How did they know this?
Well, this is amazing. This is a couple named Nicole and Jeff Bassett, and they founded Renewable Apparel. And what they did is they came up with the idea that people are throwing away good clothing and because maybe the zipper is broken or it's missing a button or something like that, but the clothing is really still good. Well, when they do that, the landfills are getting 14 million tons of clothing that are just further hitting, the ecology and everything else. So they came up with the idea that they separate the clothing out and anything that's good, and they're an Oregon-based company, and they are taking that clothing, repairing it, and then selling it for like 50% off what it would be worth, but they're donating money to the ecosystem to keep getting it cleaned.
Oh, wow.
And it's amazing. I mean, how people come up with these ideas, and they had absolutely no money when they started. They had a crowdfunding goal of $50,000. They reached that goal within 3 days.
Wow.
And people, they would like good clothing, but they say, okay, this makes sense. I mean, it's like,
now, how did they get the clothes? That part I missed. How did they actually how do they let people like you and me know that they're looking for clothing?
What they do is actually the clothing, you would go to Renewable Apparel and you would say, okay, fine, I'll send it to them and they can repair it and fix it up or whatever. They're creating a factory right now, and they plan to have this whole thing roll out this month.
Wow. So it's like almost like giving to Salvation Army or Goodwill, but they only take the good stuff. This place is like another one of those, but they take the bad stuff and make it good again.
Make it good again,
wow.
And it doesn't go into a landfill.
That's amazing. That's a really good story. It's very ingenious too on their part. The next one is the heartwarming moment when the swan is reunited with its rescuer.
Yeah, this happened in England, and the person who was involved with the swan, he's in the Emmy Award-winning series Born to Explore. Richard Weiss is his name, and they were working on a story about swans, and one of them was very, very ill. And Wise just developed a special relationship with the swan. And it was injured because it had been trapped in a chain link fence.
Oh, man.
And he was able to rescue it. Well, then, after the swan got better, he went over to it, pulled it to his chest. The swan didn't fight him off. In fact, what the swan did, it took its neck and it wrapped it around his neck.
Oh, man.
And it's like they became just good friends. And the swan is now part of his life.
Wow. You know, I just saw recently something very similar about a duck, and the fishermen found this duck as a small duckling on the lake, and now it bonded with him, and every place he goes, that duck is there. He'll get in his boat, and the duck will come up and fly alongside the boat, and then land in the front of the boat. It's like amazing how they bond. The ducks and swans. It's just amazing.
Well, but here is somebody that versus oh my God, forget it. It's just a swan or it's just a duck.
Yeah.
They said, no, I got to help this thing.
Yeah, it could have become a meal, or
right,
or he could save
exactly.
it. Yeah, yeah. The next story you have is very near and dear to my heart. Actually, it talks about teens who create a Sit With Us app for bullied school children.
Yeah, this is really hit me too. It's a lady named Natalie Hampton. She's 16 years old, and when she first started in high school, she was constantly ostracized and rejected when she was trying to find a place to sit during the lunch period. And she's from Sherman Oaks, California. And she kept thinking, what can I do to change this? So she created an app called Sit With Us. And the app is private. It's not public. But a teen can go on it and see if there's any place that they can sit. And they don't get embarrassed. And somebody comes back and says, you can sit at my table. And they go over and they sit at the table and they just have a good time. And what's happened as a result of this is that it has been picked up by the Apple Store, and it's now downloaded for free, and kids all over the country are using it.
It's amazing. And you know what? I bet you she's not being bullied anymore.
No.
Everybody wants her to sit at the table, and it's like, no, I'm not sitting with you guys. I'm not sitting with you guys. Wow.
But the thing is, but see, there's somebody that just said, I can't stand this anymore.
Yeah. That's thinking
now,
outside the box. It's
yes.
She's really thinking. And, I'm sitting here thinking about this. This could apply not just to kids, but think about the employees that work in big corporations, like the GEs and the Harrises and the Googles and the Microsofts. There's people there that do the same thing.
Absolutely.
When they go to the cafeterias, they're looking around and it's like, who do I sit with? Oh, I'm not sitting with that person. They pick on me. I'm not sitting with that one. They're so-and-so. But if they had that app and they could just look at it, oh, man, what an idea. That's really something. Really something. The next one is also one that's very near and dear to my heart because I've been working lately on a lot of things solar, trying to convert some things over to solar, and I've been successful. And this here talks about a huge solar facility to give power to over 1 million African people.
Yeah, and so you'll really understand this and it can explain to our listeners. This is in Morocco. They have built the largest solar plant in the world. It will generate 580 megawatts of electricity.
Wow.
And it will serve 1.1 million people. It's scheduled to be finished by 2018. And Morocco's current energy is mostly from imports. And what the nation is now hoping is that by 2030, they'll be able to help everybody around them with solar energy.
That's incredible. Now, does it say how big the facility is going to be, how many panels or what have you?
No, it doesn't say that, but it says that it's going to be the largest one with panels. It doesn't say specifically how many in the world.
Yeah, we have one here in Florida, not too far from us, and I think it's like 10 acres or 20 acres. And it doesn't even cover our county. It provides power, but it doesn't make enough power to provide all of the power that our county requires. And I'm thinking about the size of what this one must be out in Morocco. It's got to be huge, but it's free power. Once they install it, it's free. I mean, it's there's not a lot of maintenance to it. You have maintenance to the lines and what have you, but basically you put these panels in and they just start generating power. It's amazing.
Well, see, the funny thing you said too, Jeff, is because when we've been out in California visiting family, we've gone by huge fields of these panels.
Yes. Yep.
And I'm thinking, this is going to be bigger than that.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah, the problem with solar, and they must have figured this out now, is you make all this power, and then that's great, and you're making it during the day, but what do you do at night? And so you have to have a way to capture this power and store it. And so the batteries for a long time have been the limiting factor in solar power because they were either too big or too bulky or too expensive. But the battery technology, thanks to people like Tesla and others that are building cars and what have you, the battery technology has changed. And so you're able to bring that battery bank way down in size and way up in capacity, and it makes things like this very possible, which is...
It's amazing.
It's very amazing. Very amazing. And what is amazing is that this has been another week of good news with Dick Baumbach, and we greatly appreciate what you bring to us.
Well, thank you, and I can't wait till next week and more good news stories.
Now, I hear that you have something planned for us, and do you want to let us in on any secrets?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Isn't there a change coming to Good News a little bit?
Well, yeah, we're going to try a little different twist here, and I want to see how it works. But the listeners will have to wait till next week to see how that changes.
That's what I thought. Mr. Baumbach doesn't give up many of his secrets. So until next week, thank you so much for joining Dick Baumbach and myself, Jeff Heiser, here on Good News. Have a great week. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Have a great, good week, Jeff.